Gonna build a mountain from a little hill.
Hey everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is DeLadysigner, and today we are back with another speed build video of Abuya Zoo. And in this episode, I thought it would be fun to add the Pygmy Hippos to our zoo, as I really wanted to add an animal today with an underwater viewing gallery. But quickly, before we jump into it, let us thank our fantastic sponsor of the channel, Instant Gaming. At Instant Gaming, you can get your most favorite games with up to 70, sometimes even 90% discount. If you use the link in the description down below, you will get an amazing discount and you will also be supporting the channel. And to celebrate this awesome collaboration, we are doing a special giveaway where you can win a game of your choice. So just click the link in the description of this video, enter the game or DLC you would like to win, and participate. Good luck! So as always, I went on Google again to try and see if I was able to find any cool habitats for the Pygmy Hippos to use as inspiration for our habitat in Abuya Zoo. And for this habitat, I did find a very interesting one. This Pygmy Hippo habitat, or at least the underwater viewing, is a little bit inspired by the Pygmy Hippo habitat at the Singapore Zoo. They have like this round looking viewing area where the guests can like sit down and look at the Pygmy Hippos when they are walking on the water. And the way how the water area is decorated and also like the fences and stuff, I did find very inspiring for this build we are making ourselves in Abuya Zoo. So I will just make sure to link this picture in the description of this video so you can all check it out yourself as well. So we start this build with like creating the round viewing gallery, and I wanted this area to be like a bit more sunken into the ground as well. So once I dug out like the round area of the terrain, I did place like a path in the middle of it and connected all the sides to create like this perfect round shape of the path. And once this path was in place, I used like these 2-meter wide glass walls to create this viewing gallery on one side of the path, or like the viewing area. Now in the real life zoo picture, you can see that the underwater viewing gallery is a little bit raised comparing to the path. Like I wanted to do the same, but I later realized that the water was a bit too shallow for the Pygmy Hippos to do that, so I decided to lower it down a little bit again. And in the front of the glass, there will be like this mixture of small rocks to make the edge look a little bit more interesting, I guess. I first started with like these tropical rocks only, but that looked a little bit too plain, so I decided to combine it a little bit with different types of colored rocks. And for like these little poles in between the glass, we will be using the thick bamboo pieces to create like this frame on both sides of the glass, which is definitely from the real life zoo inspired if you have seen the picture. So to create like this flat round roof on top of this viewing gallery, I use like the mud pillar technique to create this perfect round shape. If you don't know what I mean or how this works, I highly recommend you to watch my top 10 building tips and tricks video of Planet Zoo. I will make sure to link that one in the description of this video as well, so you can easily find it. Now, it really was a little bit of a challenge to create a good looking ceiling for this one, since I wanted to use like these bamboo pieces for the roof as well. But simply rotating it like this with the flat bamboo pieces would cause like a lot of glitching or pieces doing like this weird shimmering thing. I honestly have no idea how to explain it, but I'm sure you all know what I mean. What you sometimes see when you have like two pieces exactly on top of each other. And this honestly just didn't look good with all this bamboo. So I actually just put like the first row of bamboo slightly in an angle at some point and like rotated it like that so that you don't get like this weird clipping. I think that is the word I was looking for, by the way. Just clipping and not shimmering or glitching, just clipping, I guess. So to create like this water area for the Pygmy Hippos, I used the 4-meter wide walls again to like draw out where I kind of wanted the backside to be. I don't think it's exactly 4 meter what I held on to in the end. It might get closer to 3, but just to give myself an idea of how big I wanted this area to be, like it always really helps me to use walls like this for some measurements and to definitely make sure that things will not become too big, because that is definitely an issue. Many experience in Planet Zoo always tend to build so many big, well, you just build big habitats while you actually want it to be smaller. So yeah, I really recently tried to pay attention to the size of my habitats to make it feel a little bit more realistic, I guess. So behind the water area will be a raised terrain area where the pygmy hippos can walk around, they rest and they eat. And this will be a slightly bigger area than the water area, pretty much on eye level of the guest. So the guest will have this nice viewing from the viewing gallery in both the water, so underwater, and the terrain level where they are walking and resting and stuff. And then it was time to decorate the area a little bit more. So I did use like these flat tropical rocks as you see me do, like to create like the flooring and the edges of the water section. And I made sure that the pygmy hippo at least is able to go from one side to the other side through the water, going through this habitat. Like I made more of like these more flatter or smoother areas in the middle, but later when using the aquatic rocks and adding some reeds, the traversable area just got stopped here. So maybe when the animals have some babies in the latest days, the babies are able to use these areas in the middle as well. And else we just pretend they are able to use all these middle sections as well to go out of the water. Like I will make sure for the cinematic shots that we have some cute babies walking around in this habitat as well. I actually only just realized that we actually barely see any babies in my cinematic shots, and that's mostly to blame because of City Zoo being so big and laggy. So if I want to wait for some babies, it all takes a lot longer than if you don't have like this big of a zoo. And Abuya Zoo is not really a big of a zoo, so why not make sure that we have some babies walking around here in this habitat, right? So for further decorations of this habitat, I wanted to play around a little bit with the roots. Like I actually would love to use these roots a little bit more, but for some reason, like the shapes they have feel a little bit unuseful most of the time. I don't know what it is. So I just barely used them in my builds. Like we had roots in Planet Coaster, which I absolutely love to use. And for some reason, I'm still missing these type of roots. Maybe it's because they're all pointing the same way or something, and I just want something a little bit more versatile. I really don't know exactly what it is, but yeah, I wish I could be using the roots a lot more, but I definitely do think that this is a really great way of decorating an underwater viewing gallery to make it all look a little bit more alive and I don't know. So yeah, for this underwater viewing area, I actually really wanted to use them because they give like this more like, I think more swampy feeling in my opinion. Together with, of course, some nice aquatic plants and later also with like some roots of some trees. I'm not really sure what they're called, but I think they are some kind of swampy trees, but I really don't know how to say their name. And I actually really do love how this underwater area has turned out, including this route. So I highly recommend you to try that out as well. It's really a lot of fun. So the backside of the habitat, I used like these same tree trunks as we did with like the mandrill habitat and the hyena habitat that we recently finished. Like they just work so well for the backside of many habitats. So I really like to use them again in this area as well. I did combine these tree trunks a little bit more with like these tropical rocks just to get like a little bit more variation in and to make them look a little bit different than the other sides. And these are a lot lower, of course, so it definitely also looks already a lot different, to be honest. And on top of the level of these tree trunks, I make sure like to fill this all up with like a lot of tropical plants and bushes. Like this will simply not be a level that the pygmy hippos can walk on in the end. Like only on the right side where I make sure that there is a keeper's gate, but that one is not visible from the guest point of view. So there is another level, and I'm not really sure if the pygmy hippos will be using that a lot, but it's not visible for the guests or anything like that, and the rest will be just simply closed off and just be dense and tropical for the backside scene of this habitat. So obviously, like around the habitat, I added a few of the enrichment items. I was a little bit disappointed to see that the pygmy hippo does not have like a toy to play with in the water. Like not sure what they would do if you put the tire in the water, but I didn't really like how the tire was looking floating in the water. So I'd rather just have like a ball or a rubber ducky in the water for them to play with, to be honest. I think that looks a little bit more realistic than the tire that they can do something with. I don't think they can use it in the water, but correct me if I'm wrong. And other than that, I did do the usual decorating in the habitat. Like I covered the backside fences with some tropical rugs, which as I said, like it's not visible for the guest. And I obviously use like a lot of the tropical trees and bushes to fill up the rest of the area. And also added a few of the orange flowers of one of the trees because I absolutely just love the color and the contrast. And I also did use like the African grass to make it all look a little bit more dense. And at the guest viewing gallery, I added like just a few bins and some benches for the guests to sit down. And I did try to see if I was able to add like a few rows of the real in-game benches, just like you see in the picture. But the game wouldn't really let me add a straight row in the middle of the circled pad because it snaps to that middle section. So I kind of just skipped this idea as I rather see real benches that people are actually using than like fake benches. So instead of the fake benches, I just decided to leave them out from the middle section and just added some benches on the sides. With just some lights and some bins, as I said, and of course the educational signs. Now, I didn't do much yet at the entrance of this viewing gallery as I don't really know yet what I want to connect it to with the main path and stuff, like how I want to do this. So we will definitely save this for a later stage. But yeah, a pygmy hippo habitat, I'm actually very happy about how it has turned out. Let me know in the comments what you all think of this new Abuya Zoo habitat. Leave a like at the video if you all enjoyed, and if this habitat is giving you inspiration for your own zoos, do let me know in the comments down below, of course. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already, and don't forget to check out the new monthly giveaway with the link in the description of this video. And yeah, I just really do hope to see you guys all in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys!